In 2006, police were called. They were in Kyiv, Ukraine. A confused man needed help. When police arrived, they found him. He was a young man. He was very scared. He didn't know his location. His clothes were strange. They were anachronistic. He carried a camera. Police didn't know then. They faced a time traveler. The man's name was Sergei Ponomarenko. Police asked for his ID. He handed it to them. The first thing they noticed was odd. It was issued from a country. That country no longer existed. It was the Soviet Union. Ukraine was part of it, but the Soviet Union dissolved. That was almost 2 decades ago. Police rarely saw those IDs, especially not on young people. This man looked 20. His ID said he was born, the year was 1932. He matched the picture. Something was wrong. They asked him the date. He said April 23rd, 1958. Police decided to act. They said, "Come with us. Talk to the nice doctor." Sergei ended up in a hospital. Dr. Pablo Kucherkov cared for him. The doctor played along. He asked Sergei questions. Could he remember how he arrived? How did he get to 2006? He thought it was 1958. The doctor recorded his words. Sergei said, "It was daytime. I wanted a city walk. I took my camera. Leaving my house, I saw it. A strange bell-shaped object. It was very strange. It flew in a strange way. It's hard to explain it. Look at my camera photos." Dr. Kucherkov was curious. He got the camera. It was an old Yashima Flex. The doctor knew cameras. He recognized the brand. It was an antique. This was a problem. The film was old. It hadn't been made, not since the 1970s. You couldn't develop it easily. He called Vadim Poisner. Vadim was a photography expert. Vadim got the film out. He saw the real info. It was made in 1956, but it was perfect, in perfect condition. He developed the roll. Things got weirder. The photos were of Kyiv, but from long ago. The cars were old, the clothes were old, street signs were old. Everything was from the 1950s. Buildings didn't exist anymore. Sergei was in the photos, with his girlfriend, then, enjoying a beautiful day. He wore the same clothes, the clothes he was found in. The last photo was strange. Just as Sergei said, it showed a bell-shaped UFO. The doctor asked about it. Sergei said, "Now you believe me? I'm telling the truth. I don't understand this object. How did it happen to me? I took the picture, then I looked at the camera. Somehow I'm in this year." Dr. Kucherkov was scientific. He had a hypothesis. If it was an alien craft, it flew him across space at the speed of light, then brought him back in a split second. Due to Einstein's theory, he experienced time dilation. Time barely passed for him, but 47 years passed on Earth, the flight of the navigator theory. That night, Sergei returned. He went to his room, he closed the door, he was never seen again. Hospital security cameras, they filmed him entering, but never leaving. There was only one way out. The room was always watched. Windows had bars. He couldn't escape unnoticed. Sergei just vanished. He pulled a Shawshank, but no Raquel Welch poster. Nothing to explain it. He was never found. No escape means were found. He just vanished. Police were left with it. His camera, his photographs, a crazy mystery to solve. A mystery that got weirder. They investigated the case. A Sergei Ponomarenko existed. He was missing in Kyiv, but that was in 1960. They tracked down his girlfriend, the woman in the photos. She was over 70 now. She told police her story. Sergei disappeared in 1958. He returned a few days later, the exact time he was in 2006. Then he vanished again. That was in the 1970s. This time he was gone, never seen again. But years after he vanished, she got a strange photo. It came in the mail. It was from Sergei. A note was on the back. The photo was from 2050. It showed an older Sergei. He had a mustache. Kyiv was in the background. The skyline was full of skyscrapers. He said in the note he'd return. He'd be back soon. For whatever reason, he didn't. Sergei Ponomarenko's story. It's internet lore now. Possibly the most documented a time travel case in history. Look, it's a great story. I totally get why it became an urban legend. The problem is everything I found on this, all the images you've seen throughout this video, they all tie back to one show. It was called Aliens. It aired on 1+1 Ukraine. That was in 2012. There were 10 episodes. This story is episode 3. It's titled Time Traveler. The series is about aliens, different stories of abductions. Other titles include alien abductions, levitation effect, phantoms, crop circles. The show had a disclaimer at the beginning of each episode. It translates to this: the Alien series aims to restore scenes of controversial topics. Any theory or hypothesis proposed cannot be considered to be correct, and further scientific research is required. All scene restorations are based on the statements of witnesses. There is no conclusive evidence to prove the existence of aliens. Your opinion on this issue is up to you. So the show itself says, any theory cannot be correct, which is more than you get from the History Channel. It also points out these are scene restorations. All the images of Sergei, they keep showing up on every website, every video about this. Those are all recreations. This is not real footage, not real interview footage, which feels obvious to me, but I guess I've spent more time on camera than most people. Besides, there are a few glaring details that are wrong in this episode. The security camera footage, it shows the time as Wednesday, April 23rd, 2006. But if you check a calendar on your phone, you'll see April 23rd, 2006 was actually a Sunday. Others pointed out the ID card in the show, it has a Communist Youth League seal stamped on it, but it's not the actual seal from that time period. I'm sure the art director was good, but you can't beat the internet. Then there's the 2050 picture. It has buildings copied, pasted all over it. I'm pretty sure that's the Empire State Building. So, minor Photoshop. The point is, they're recreations. The show says it up front, fine. But according to the story, there was an ID. There were photos. There was an interview. So where are the real ones? If they exist. All I can say is this. My writer Jason and I, we searched everywhere. We couldn't find them. Nowhere. No actual police records, no other media reports, nothing on key figures, Dr. Pablo Kutrikov or Vadim Poizner. Some people lack a web presence, there's a language barrier, but I couldn't find anything. I don't know about this show. If you're in Ukraine and know something about it, please educate me. And everyone else in the comments. But it comes across like this, like a History Channel show. They take an urban legend, then dramatize it. I feel like this is a good piece of creepypasta. The producers ran across it, they decided to run with it. They did a great job. Let's face it, they did. It's taken on a life of its own. The credits list a scriptwriter, Konstantin Komodin. The director is Vladimir Rybus. The producer is Alexei Libak. The executive producer is Oleg Roksha. He owns the station. I'd love to ask them directly about this, but I couldn't contact them. For me, the evidence is clear. This is a work of fiction. And a great story. It is a great story. Don't take it more seriously than The Mermaid Show on Animal Planet. Which actually happened. I hate this timeline. But I get it. I totally get it. Time travel is fascinating. A lot of thought has gone in to how it would work. For example, a paper published in Classical and Quantum Gravity in September 2020 suggested a way to travel backwards in time. They looked at Einstein's theory, specifically his calculations. They show it's possible for an object in the universe to travel through space and time in a circular direction and end back at the start. Einstein called it a curve, a closed time-like curve. Physicists discuss time travel. They deal with paradoxes like the grandfather paradox. The idea a time traveler goes back into the past, kills a younger version of her grandfather. This means her parents weren't born, along with the time traveler. If she wasn't born, how could she kill him? That whole thing. The writers of this paper, they used a billiard ball model to tackle this paradox. Imagine several billiard balls on a circular table. You push one ball away from position X, it goes around the table, hits other balls in a pattern. Research has calculated this. Even if the ball's pattern is messed with at some point during its journey, future interactions with other balls can correct its path. The ball will return to position X at the same speed as if it hadn't been interfered with. Basically,
The ball will fall into the same place. They use this model to explain how if you traveled back in time, you could change events, but not enough to change the future. With the grandfather paradox, it would mean something. Something would always get in the way of you trying to kill him. As researcher Jermaine Tabar said, no matter what you did, the salient events would just recalibrate around you. Try as you might to create a paradox, the events will always adjust themselves to avoid any inconsistency. I think this paper is mostly just a thought experiment, but it sounds like determinism. The world will recalibrate around any changes you make, like a car navigation when you miss your exit. The big question is, though, what causes this recalibration? What holds this reality together? Is it a quantum force, the matrix, the power of Zoe? Unfortunately, it'll be a long time until we can test this. Send an instrument or person on a closed time-like curve. Until then, we imagine it. We've been imagining this whole time. One of the earliest epics, ancient Sanskrit poems, was the Mahabharata. It was about time travel. We're drawn to these stories because time is insidious, the most insidious force in our lives. Time marches on. It never stops. We are at its mercy. Our greatest fantasy is to escape its grip. As Professor Lisa Jasek said, time travel tales let us imagine that we can break free from the grip of linear time and somehow get a new perspective on the human experience, either our own or humanity as a whole. Maybe that's why this legend has struck such a chord, online with everybody. Disoriented and confused as he was, in some small way, we all want to be Sergei. This whole Sergei story, it revolves around the idea a UFO picked him up, carried him at light speed, dropped him back on Earth 50 years later. This is an example of Einstein's theory of relativity in action. You probably get the gist. You're smart people. But why does that happen? Exactly. Please like and share this video if you liked it. If this is your first time, check out my other videos. That's it for now. Have an eye-opening week. Stay safe. Love you guys. Take care.